Do you want to be a lore-accurate Were-Elk in DBD? The Were-Elk is a visceral skin for the Huntress, which in Dead by Daylight terms means A, the Huntress gets to take breaks for a round because based on precedent, this is canonically a different character, and B, there is a new Mori animation unique to this killer. So with that being said, let's get into the lore and then create a build for the Were-Elk. As far as I know, the Were-Elk isn't an actual thing in folklore, but is rather a creation of Dead by Daylight. Obviously, it's related to a werewolf in nature, in which were is a prefix meaning man, so taking that logic, it just translates to man-elk. There's nothing to say how a were-elk is created, or if, like a werewolf, this creature can change between human and elk, so a lot of the Were-Elk's story and lore is shrouded in mystery. What we do have, though, are the cosmetic descriptions. The description for the full cosmetic set talks about a man who tells the locals about a horned beast that walked like a human that he narrowly escaped in the nearby woods. It wielded a dirty axe that was still glistening with the blood of its former victims, it had piercing eyes that it would use to scan the trees for prey, and it wore ragged clothing and kept trophies from its former foes. Taking a look at the clothing, if this thing did transform from a human previously, then it was probably a woman because we've got a patterned skirt underneath a yellow cardigan covered in jewelry. However, this could just be clothing that was taken from a victim. On the chest of the cardigan is a military pin, and on the back the beast keeps a rifle, presumably taken from a downed soldier, and 2 masks. I'm not entirely sure what the top mask is because it's not on another Huntress cosmetic, but the bottom mask is undeniably the Huntress's. Let's talk about some theories here. The fact that the Were-Elk has Anna's mask means one of 2 things. It either killed the Huntress or it is the Huntress. And I think there is supporting evidence for both of these theories. The name of the torso cosmetic for the Were-Elk in Dead by Daylight is called Macabre Trophies, as in, these are things that I have plucked from the corpses of my victims. So it really is within the realm of possibility that the Were-Elk ended up being one member of the animal kingdom that was just a little too much for the Huntress. And since Dead by Daylight lore likes to play around with the multiverse, then we can just assume in some alternate universe the Huntress was killed by this thing, and the entity was like, hey, that thing is kind of cool, I'm gonna bring it into my realm too. The theory that the Were-Elk is the Huntress has a lot of supporting evidence too, though. First of all, it passively sings the exact same lullaby as Anna. Second, in the Huntress's tome lore, the Russian soldiers often refer to her as a Bodark, which is a human who willingly submits to lycanthropy and becomes a werewolf, and as such they have full control of their werewolf status. The fact that Anna has pitch black eyes, which is a sign of a Bodark, is a little bit of supporting evidence to this. However, I never really bought into the theory that she's a Bodark, and I believe the soldiers were just embellishing their stories out of fear that they experienced, or possibly out of shame for not wanting to let others know that they got taken down by a very strong human, let alone a woman. But anyway, those are some of the reasons that even though this is a visceral skin, it might still be the Huntress just going beast mode, as the kids say. There are a couple other theories about the Were-Elk that I would like to address or propose. The first is that some people believe this to possibly be either the elk that killed the Huntress's mom or just Anna's mom, possibly from another universe where she survived the elk attack. And the reason why she has the masks is because she made them for her daughter. I think it's a possibility, but I highly doubt this is the creature that Anna was throwing hands with when she was a 7-year-old after it murked her mom. One more theory that I'd like to bring up is one that I hinted at about 51 seconds ago when I said that I believe the soldiers were just embellishing their stories out of the fear that they experienced or possibly out of shame for not wanting to let others know that they got taken down by a very strong human, let alone a woman. And I believe the soldiers were just embellishing their stories out of fear that they experienced or possibly out of shame for not wanting to let others know that they got taken down by a very strong human, let alone a woman. The cosmetics for the Were-Elk are told from the perspective of a traveler talking to village members about a near-death experience he had with a beast nearby. It's very possible that he's an unreliable narrator and just saw the Huntress and embellished the story to the village, and this is now the image that they all created in their heads out of fear based on what one guy thought that he saw. All that being said, what we do know about the Were-Elk is that it is vicious, brutal, it spreads fear among others, and it can track its prey very easily, and it's not like very much human. So let's take all of that and figure out how to be the most lore accurate Were-Elk that we can be. First, we got to get into character. Whether it involves tearing apart a steak with just your teeth, letting out a big howl, or listening to the Tortured Poets Department, do what you gotta do to get in touch with the inner animal inside of you. Now, forget everything else you know about Dead by Daylight. We're not here to macro gameplay this into oblivion, we're not here to stop the generators from being completed, and you can be damn sure we're not here to play chess. We are here to hunt, we are here to kill, and that is what we are going to do. So, playstyle. Like I said, the Were-Elk doesn't even know what a generator is. The Were-Elk only knows what prey is. So you need to go for whatever prey seems the most vulnerable, and then you need to stick on them like a hound dog. Do not, under any circumstance, drop chase against an injured prey. I don't care if they take you to the dark side of the moon where no generator has ever spawned, you follow them there. Furthermore, we are playing for Moris, brutality, so do whatever you gotta do to get those sweet, sweet entrails entangled in your horns. Some might call this tunneling, but you don't know what the f a tunnel is. You're a Were-Elk, you only know blood and pain. They wouldn't last an hour in the woods that raised you. Also, to add a little extra spice to your role-playing as a Were-Elk, go back to that time when you were brand new to Killer in Dead by Daylight, and you didn't know what the heck a flashlight did, or you didn't know that it was dangerous to walk through pallets while carrying someone. Just unga-bunga your way through, and then after something happens to you, adapt to it. So now, the build. You want to hunt, and you want to kill, and you want to make them scared. The good news is, there are a lot of tracking and chase perks in Dead by Daylight. You just never see them behind all of the pain resonances and Pops Goes the Weasels. The perk build that I liked the most while trying to be a lore-accurate Were-Elk was Spies from the Shadows, Bloodhound, Infectious Fright, and Strider. I feel like these let me use my senses to track a little bit more rather than just do a full aura reading build, though there are very many things you can do to fit the vibe either by playstyle or by name. Here are some of the perks that I could think of. For my add-ons, I ran the Begrimed Head because the lore states that the hatchet is covered in old blood, and the Flower Babushka because it just seems like a keepsake that the Were-Elk would take from a victim. And of course, for an offering, I picked the Ebony Memento Mori. Also, a quick tip, when you're going for a Mori as the Were-Elk, try to find the flattest, most open area without any grass whatsoever. The Were-Elk's Mori requires about 18 football fields of flat, uninterrupted ground if you don't want to be cucked by the environment or the grass. So yeah, here's just a little compilation of my failed Moris. You're kidding me! So there you have it, your lore-accurate Were-Elk build in Dead by Daylight. I hope more than anything that this video was able to brighten your day at least just a little bit. If it did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Also, shout out to my patrons whose names are Brotac, Marsh, Fake Milk, Sinner, and Ari. But anyway, I will catch you guys later. Peace out.